We are also very much involved as a party in the self-verification exercise. I want to remind you, like I always, there is no country as structured and organized as Zimbabwe on the African continent. This is not about bragging. This is a matter of acknowledging our historical circumstances. There is no imperial power which was as menacing as the British Imperial Army, whose cat's paw was the Rhodesian army in this country. Highly mobile, highly inventive in warfare, with a population which was in situ in Zimbabwe, not being dispatched like the Portuguese were doing in Mozambique from the imperial center London. The whites here said it's home. They fought tenaciously. They used every war subterfuge, like Zanu scouts. They used every weapon from Vietnam, from the American arsenal. But in the end, our population won. Why did they win? Because Wakomana and Amjiba, the war veterans, we organized the population at village level. The giant of the Rhodesian army was made blind. It was like Goliath without eyes. We had the people as the David with eyes. So no matter you are a giant and you have no eyes, you don't see your enemy. In the meantime, the David with the eyes open from the people's support, information and everything, could see the enemy. And we had the numbers. And that carried the day in 1979. So we are a structured party, historically, from the war. Respect that position. I say it with some angst, because there is another party which comes from nowhere, except sponsorship by the Americans. It morphs into a triple C, which says they don't have structures, they don't have a policy, they don't need a Congress, they don't need a program. We just run a party like that. How is it possible that human beings who work in an organized manner in society can be managed by a party which has none of those structures which makes people move forward? The reality, if I want to tell you, and I dare say so, is that Havana van. So if you try to call for a meeting, people may not turn up, then you are embarrassed. So they have an excuse now. We can't organize during the day because we're afraid of Zanu PF. So we have now hit upon a new creativity. And what is the creativity? They say we organize our meetings during the night when Zanu PF is asleep. So people who are supposed to go to work tomorrow, they are being made to wake up in the night by Triple C in order to be organized. How will they work tomorrow if they haven't? But anyway, I want to remind you also, because the Rhodesian enemy was very, very thorough. Those are the even punkwe. Zaenzi punkwe. Punkwe ndeye usiku nega. You understand? So we can always rise. In fact, we don't even have to rise. We are masters at organizing people in the dark. Isu, Zanu PF. We are the masters of that.
Yes.
Yeah. So if somebody was to try to move in that direction, vanototwana takasvika kudhara ikoko kuorganize people in the dark. It's a fallacy. One, they are lying to themselves, but worse, they are lying to those who are sponsoring them. That because vatisiri kukuona ene mazimari atiri kukupai masikati. Muri kuisepi mari zvonzi aiwa tiri kuisenzesa usiku when their sponsors are not even asleep. So it's a lie. Somebody is playing a game of deceit between the opposition, and their detractors and their sponsors. I'm sorry for Mr. George Soros with his Open Society Institute of Southern Africa, which is the biggest funder of a plethora of NGOs and PVOs. Per capita, Zimbabwe has got NGOs and PVOs more than any other country in the world. This is money, easy money from billionaire Soros. He is being milked dry by these people who are pretending to be running a party at night. There's nothing which they are going to do. And we in ZANU-PF, we are busy putting the structures in place. We are verifying at village level. Remember, I told you, we are organizers from the war. It's a historical. Organization is the DNA of ZANU-PF. Because we fought a war. And to win a war, you have to be organized. More so when you have to fight it against the most advanced European country, held by the most powerful country called America. You don't win zvedambi. This was scientific. So this is what we are doing throughout this week, confirming our structures at cell level. This is where the people who vote will be. We are relating each polling booth to the cell structure for our people. And we are engaging our cadres on the ground to make sure that those people who want to be registered are registered. I'll give you a typical example. I come from Marsh West. This is the original home of commercial agriculture for cash crops. Forge gaga introduced kwa nevarungu Virginia, Palidiet, ndopa yana madiriwora ekugreda Forge on the road to Kutama, which is Vamnoto. So all that area became a huge farming, tobacco farming area. We needed a cash crop as the colonial authority of the country. More so after the Second World War, when the British had to pay American debts for their support during the war. It was called the Lend-Lease. America supplied weapons to Britain, like they are doing to Ukraine right now, but they don't supply for free. You've got to pay. So after the war, the British had to pay, and they used Zimbabwe to pay for the loans which America had given them during the war. We were paying that loan for Britain until 2020, I think 2003. Zimbabwe was paying that loan. So a lot of commercial farms are in Mashonaland West for tobacco, for cotton, for this. It also meant that we had employees coming, migrant laborers from Malawi, from Mozambique, and from Zambia. So we have a very sizable, what we would have considered an alien population in colonial times. But we are Pan-Africanist revolutionaries. Soon after independence, all of them are made Zimbabwe citizens. So we don't have to fear the issue of xenophobia. Because in Zimbabwe, we can't distinguish a Malawian from a Zambian from any other Zimbabwean who is in here. We are all the same. I don't know, I can't even distinguish. I live into another country which can find a nuance between Africans, but we don't in Zimbabwe. Yes. So we made everybody a citizen. But there was a lag between citizenship and registration. And President Mnangagwa, in his wisdom, because he's a Democrat and a constitutionalist, he's a lawyer who believes so much in democracy, he made sure that those people are given a chance to register themselves by lowering the threshold of going to register. He announced that as long as you go to the registration center, you don't have to pay money. It's good for the country. If you know the statistics of your population, you can plan your economy much better. So you don't have to place an obstacle for somebody to go and register. So President Mnangagwa, in his wisdom, offered that big chance. So a lot of the Malawians who didn't have their papers, they all went to vote, to register in the national ID process. Now, yes, Mashonaland West is probably number 3 in terms of the people on the voter registration. But there's also a wide gap between the registered population and the vote register. So we are now working frantically to close the gap by making sure that these people who are given national registration cards are also on the registered vote. You remember, 2 days after the proclamation of the date of elections, anybody who registers afterwards cannot participate in the election. So you can see the agents with which we are going to the villages and all over the country to build cells. We are having a huge voter registration drive, and the results which are coming from our teams on the ground, they are surprising, pleasantly surprising. They are actually an indication of what will come out on the day of voting. We are not surmising the outcome of a vote. We are not organizing fake Gallup polls like the one which was done by the Braintrust Foundation by MIT to say this is the sample. A sample which is done from people who are on WhatsApp and the social media. Do you know that there are probably less than 300,000 people who are frequenting Twitter and all these mediums, the social mediums? So if you do a sample of those 300,000 people and you say it's a national sample, there's something wrong about your understanding of statistics. We have gone further to actually go to the village at cell level. That's where the people are. So our sampling is being done by actually registering those people. That's more scientific. Because the sample and the population have a relationship. You know what is a sample? It's a few who represent. And the population is the totality of those who are represented. That's statistics. So we are dealing with the statistical population. The MDC is dealing with the social media sample. It's a ghost one. And then out of it, they hit their chest. And they say, we are going to win the election. How many people? And incidentally, most of the people in Twitter, they could be algorithms. Or they are in the diaspora. Are they going to fly in and vote on the day of the polling booth? Because it's polling station based. There is no polling booth in Berlin or in Washington or in London. The polling on Twitter. There is no polling booth. The last time I talked to Zek, they didn't tell me about putting a polling booth on Twitter. So you see, we have a problem of people who are not organizationally minded. That's why they think they can do a revolution like the other one who is in jail now. What's his name? Sakala. They think a revolution is a dinner party. He thinks he can have a truck going to Chitungwiza there to Seke and ignite a revolution. You know, we are not hair-brained in ZANU-PF. You know, brains of hairs. We are very thorough in what we do. So this is what we are doing. We are very happy with the outcome of our teams.